You can hear it. Today, we're going to learn everything about this instrument, which was banned in several places around the world. The Vuvuzela. It was 2010, the year of the World Cup in South Africa. A World Cup that was marked by several things. There was the song Waka Waka by Shakira, which people are still singing today on Just Dance. The Jabulani ball was controversial. Players complained that it made all sorts of crazy curves. And lastly, the very famous Vuvuzela. It became very popular during that World Cup. It was practically a craze. There were thousands of fans playing it at the same time, making an infernal noise. It really annoyed the players, the coaches, and the fans, because you could hear the sound of the Vuvuzela through the TV broadcast. It caused so much controversy that some stadiums even banned this instrument. But the question now is, how can a plastic tube make such a loud noise? The Vuvuzela is like a little plastic horn, like this. But longer, it's about 60 centimeters long. If it were a musical instrument played in bands and orchestras, it would be a wind instrument from the same family as the flute, saxophone, and trumpet. Technically, they are aerophones because they're played using air. But the sound, contrary to what it might seem at first glance, doesn't actually come from the air. You can blow any way you want here, but if you do, nothing happens. Puff, puff. The sound comes from the vibration we make with our lips when we blow air, like this. Then yes, when the vibration is put inside this tube, you get the sound. Puff. The name Vuvuzela comes from South Africa itself, and they say it's because of the sound it makes. We're not really sure about the origin of the name, but they say it comes from the local languages, Zulu or Nguni. In Zulu, theoretically means to make a vuvu noise, which is exactly what the Vuvuzela does. It's kind of like how we have the reco here, right? The name of the instrument is the sound it makes, but what we do know, for sure, is that this instrument was inspired by the horns that ancestral tribes used in South Africa, which was made from the horns of the sable antelope. I had never heard of the sable antelope either, but it's an animal similar to an antelope, and what you just saw on the animal's head can't be called a horn, it's a corno, because horn and corno are two different things. The corno is a vascularized structure on the animal's head that it carries for life and never loses. The ox, for example, has a corno. The older the ox, the older the corno. The moose, the reindeer, the deer, those actually have antlers. So if you look, it's usually a more branched structure full of points, and they shed those things full of branches. Usually, you can't make these instruments from that, so most of the time they're made from horns. And that's where the name cornetta comes from, because it was made from that. But of course, there wouldn't be enough sable antelope to make so many horns to shout in the stadium, right? So they decided to industrialize the Vuvuzela, which ended up being made of plastic like this. Look, not even close. Chim, from cheap. At the last one, here in Brazil, there was also the custom of bringing instruments to the stadium, mainly samba school drums, but that changed in 2009. That year, South Africa hosted the Confederations Cup, which is a kind of preparation for the World Cup, which would happen the following year. In fact, it was Brazil that won the 2009 Confederations Cup, and then that noise in the stadium started to get attention. It was a buzzing sound. Even if you didn't see the Vuvuzela, you could tell it was being played. During the broadcast, there were thousands of people playing vuvuzelas at the same time. That was the seed of evil. Can you imagine what happened the following year when the World Cup was for real? This thing took over. It became a craze, and the debate started about who was against and who was in favor of vuvuzelas, like the soda versus pop debate. But this was a debate that actually made some sense, right? Because the cookie versus biscuit debate doesn't lead anywhere. Let's do our first test here, which is to find out the real volume of a vuvuzela. Is that noise really so uncomfortable that it should actually be banned from stadiums like it was? They said it caused discomfort, headaches, and even risk of hearing loss. So let's test it using a decibel meter, which is this instrument that can measure sound volume. And it's made exactly for that, right? So we can find out if the sound there is really annoying and if it can cause any problems. If people are in an environment where the noise is very loud, shouldn't they use ear protection so they don't damage their eardrums? Just so you have an idea. Look, I'm speaking here into the decibel meter. My voice at this distance reached at most 79 decibels, 80 decibels, 84, 89, 105 decibels. It started blinking here, so it was already too loud. That's what it shows. When it's silent, 40 decibels, the room is already noisy with the air conditioner on. I'll put my mouth close, as if speaking right into someone's ear. Okay. 127.6. Hold on, I'm dizzy. I can't speak properly. What does this actually mean, right? Compared to what? What does this number mean, LD? This is louder than the sound a helicopter makes. Louder than a truck horn. Louder than a rock concert. It's practically at the limit of what the human ear can hear without starting to feel pain. It's absurd. But let's see if we can make it worse. If one vuvuzela makes all this noise, what do you think happens? If we play 2 vuvuzelas at the same time and measure the maximum again, Daniel, come here and show all your vuvuzela playing skills. Let's go vuvuzela! Daniel, he's been practicing this here at Manuel do Mundo for 3 weeks. Nobody can take it anymore. People see Daniel and get goosebumps. They tremble and run because of how he plays the vuvuzela. He wrote the video script, so he's been doing this a while. Let's go.
Let's see if my studying was worth it. Was it worth it, huh?
You play first, just so we can see if no.
Hold on, rare. I'm going to change the mouthpiece. Not to criticize the manufacturer, but see how this one is much more open than it should be, right? Let's take this one with a decent mouthpiece.
So you're blaming the mouthpiece now.
All right, now go ahead.
Yeah.
It's better. 2 more, another 2.
Raw? How much was it?
128.8. The decibel increased.
Calm down, Iber. There's an explanation. It's good it only increased slightly. Sound doesn't work like you think. When I grab 2 vuvuzelas, the sound from each one isn't just going to combine nicely, making a wave that's twice as strong. It's not going to form a wave megazord, a super wave. Our ear, more specifically our cochlea, that little spiral part, works kind of like a car shock absorber, ou comfort. But for sound wave, ou comfort. Our ear doesn't pick up exactly how strong the sound is.
Did you notice the horn wasn't playing? Oh.
I felt a bit dizzy. Our brain interprets more the difference between a weak sound and a strong sound. It's not exactly how strong the sound is.
And what's really cool is that this decibel meter also won't add the 2 vuvuzelas sound together first, because as we explained physically, sound doesn't add up. It increases, but it doesn't double. And also, our ears don't perceive it that way. So the way we invented to measure sound already takes this kind of thing into account. And that's why 2 vuvuzelas won't have twice the power of 1.
Hey, Manuel do Mundo crew, Luisinho here. First of all, I just want to say this partnership is awesome. Everyone will be able to enjoy all 104 World Cup matches on the KZTV booth, and on Manuel do Mundo, all the World Cup curiosities. If it's the World Cup, no question, it's on the KZTV booth.
But let's understand how this sound is formed in here. When we blow, our lips vibrate and let the air out. And sometimes they don't, so it's like we're sending out little jets of air at high pressure at a very fast speed. In the vuvuzela, this reaches up to 235 times per second. But if I do this without the vuvuzela, I'm not able to move much air, I'm not able to create a very strong sound. It stays. The secret of this cone is that whenever we see a cone designed to project sound, it works like this. It's that it will take this air that moved, which is very little back here, and find a way to move it. More air, more and more air. It's an amplification of the sound. The first time I saw this explanation, I was also a bit confused. How does it amplify the sound? How does it make more noise without adding more energy? Let's think about something else that makes noise, okay? This little saw here. Look, when I shake the little saw, it's hardly making any noise because it can't move almost any air. It doesn't really make the air around it vibrate properly. But if I take the same little saw, using the same force here, only this time the saw is attached to a bigger object, this object is able to move the air better. So listen to the noise. It's the same thing with the vuvuzela. When I do this, I can hardly move much air, but when I put it here, I move more and more air with the same force. And the second test we want to do here is to see if we can change the sound of the vuvuzela by making it shorter or longer. Theoretically, the shorter the vuvuzela, the higher pitched the sound will be. So let's try to put an implant in our vuvuzela here and see if it can get shorter or lower pitched.
So let's do it, Iber. Let's put a prosthesis here on our vuvuzela.
Daniel got one that opens in the middle. Here, I mean theoretically, right? That plastic is the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a little finesse. India, just put it in here. Like this.
The size of the pipe isn't exactly the same thickness as the vuvuzela. So let's try to make a little support with a skewer stick and some tape. Then I think we can fix it.
So what do you bet?
I think it's going to sound a little deeper.
Sound. Given the length, I think this should be much deeper. It has to be. Let's go. Play one at the same time, Iber.
It sounds like it got higher pitched.
It got higher pitched and makes no sense.
I'm the one who's lower. It's G with 200 F.
Out of tune G, right? Yeah, no, but this is 15/8. That's ridiculous. No, it's not supposed to. No, it didn't work. Let's do the following to prove that it works. I mean, to prove that this physical concept works, the bigger the tube, the lower the note. Let's do the same thing, but with this little horn here, because we have better control of the sound. I have the base of the little horn here. It's the part that vibrates. And I'm going to add longer and longer pipes with the idea that the sound will get lower and lower. The sound will get deeper and deeper. Let's start with the little horn by itself. Place this one here on the tip. Push it in and pull back like a car antenna.
Now you can see that it worked. It's approved. Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
One thing I find really interesting about all this is that the players complained a lot in 2010 because it was annoying for them, right? They couldn't play the ball there because of the vuvuzela. And honestly, personally, I think you have to handle the pressure from the crowd, right?
Look, I also think the vuvuzela is the least of the problems. But now, for someone who's right next to someone playing the vuvuzela nonstop, it's really annoying.
Yeah, that's the point. The question is if you're a player out there in the middle of the field. If there's someone playing the vuvuzela 100 meters away from you, that's one thing. But if you're a fan, there's a crazy guy right behind you, blowing the vuvuzela right in your ear, that's something else. We've already seen it's 127 decibels, so let's go to our final test, which we'd already been planning. It was written here. Look in the script that Daniel wrote, which is to see what is the distance at which we can hear a vuvuzela. The maximum distance you can hear it from. Is the sound so loud that we can hear it, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 meters away?
My guess is 200 meters. I think up to 200 meters you can hear the sound, which is quite a lot.
My guess is 400 meters. Look.
You doubled my bet. Well, let's see. Let's go.
Let's go. Look, tap here. I'm going to walk. Count 100 meters. I'll stop and then I'll signal for you to honk, and we'll see if we can hear it. I'll walk another 100 meters, and we'll keep going. 100 by 100.
I'm so embarrassed. People will pass by and say, hey, I saw you on the bridge with a vuvuzela. How do I explain that? Speaker.
I stopped here 100 meters from them. Daniel is blowing the vuvuzela. I can hear it perfectly. But the car noise is really loud. Walk another 100 meters to see. Can you hear it there, Daniel?
We can hear you, over.
I can still hear it here. 200 meters. I'll go another 200.
Wow, you still can. You can go. Over.
Daniel already got his guess. Let's see if it works for me. managed to hear it at 300 meters.
Wow, that's amazing. I thought it was really quiet here.
The volume is really low, and I'm competing with planes, trains, and trucks, but you can still hear it at 400. I don't know, so we're tied in our bet.
I'm rooting for you to win the bet. I wanted to reach 400. I need to catch my breath. I'm running out of breath. I'm even getting dizzy here. My blood pressure dropped here. Everything went black, guys. Damn.
You can hear it, you can hear it. It's possible to hear it.
It's not my fault.
It's your fault. I'm 400 meters away. You can hear it, but in the background, there's a lot of competing noise. If it were in a quiet place, it would definitely be perfect. Well,
Save your breath because I'm going to...
500 meters.
Hurry up. I'm already starting to feel lightheaded here.
Come on, Daniel. Put some effort into this.
From 500 meters away. It's gonna work.
No luck. I can see you playing here on my phone through Zoom, but I can't hear you. There's even some noise in my imagination telling me that you're playing, but it's not working.
Hey, but that's good. Almost half a kilometer, right? Between 400 and 500, that's good.
It's proven. I won the bet, and the Vuvuzela carries far.
A lot.
This thing is really powerful. But why don't we see the Vuvuzela in stadiums anymore? Did it go out of style? Kind of day. The thing is, after the 2010 World Cup, several organizations started banning the Vuvuzela from competitions, including the CBF. What they claim is noise pollution, the possibility of hurting someone's ears, and the risk of someone using a Vuvuzela in a fight.
Imagine how humiliating it would be to fight a fan, get hit on the head with a Vuvuzela, and end up in the hospital, right?
But there are still places where the Vuvuzela is allowed, like in South Africa, where it was born, because there, it's a cultural symbol for fans in the stadium.
You don't need to worry. This year, you won't hear Vuvuzelas during broadcasts. FIFA's already told South African fans that there's no point in traveling with a Vuvuzela in their luggage because they're banned from this World Cup, just like they were also banned from the 2014, 2018, and 2022 World Cup.
You won't hear it during the broadcast, right? But this is being sold in every store.
Okay.
For those who like noisy instruments, we once held a competition here on Manual do Mundo, printing several things to find out which one made the loudest noise. And I'll confess to you, I don't even remember who won that competition anymore because there was so much crazy stuff. But it's worth taking a look because you can't imagine the potential of a 3D printer to produce noisy things.